Hello students, welcome to Doon Officers Academy. Alright, so in my last video, I had told you about subject-verb agreement. But that subject agreement was in a sentence form. So today, we are going to break them into smaller groups. For example, in just like a subject and verb. So I want to tell you what are the different parts of speech which we use to make a complete sentence. So today my first sentence is birds fly, which I am going to write it on the board so that you can see carefully. Birds fly. Number one. So as you can see, I have only got a subject, and with the subject I have got a verb. So here is my subject and here is my verb. So what happens is, it is not a complete sentence. It being an incomplete sentence, we need to bring the other parts of speech into a sentence. Only then we can complete a sentence. So I will tell you how to use different parts of speech to complete your sentence. So here all of you look at these two words, which is birds, that is my subject, and the second one is fly, because the most important thing that connected with the birds is to fly. So let's see what will come next. Birds fly. So my question is, birds fly. How do they fly? How do they fly? So to tell you how do the birds fly, that is the job of the verb. So verb will ask you how, why, and if we ask them how, then the verb has to go to the subject, and that it helps. Birds fly, number one is by the help of their wings. So my first sentence is birds fly by. So when I am bringing this by is your preposition. So preposition always helps to complete a sentence. So birds fly by the help of their wings. So what is it? How do the wings help them? That is, one is by flapping their wings. So if you don't know the flapping, उसका मतलब है उन परों को ऊपर नीचे करती हैं, फड़फड़ाती हैं. So by flapping their wings, they can fly very easily. Number two is they have very hollow bones. Because they have hollow bones, they can fly easily. Their bodies are very light. The third point is, how do they fly? They fly by steering with the help of the tail. They can turn into any direction they want. If they want to go to the left, they have to steer their tail in the same direction. And because of their steering the tail, they can fly into any direction. And number three is that they have the hollow bones. Another thing is that they can fly easily is because they have got specialized wings. They become specialized only once they are babies. After the babies, the wings will begin to grow, and when the wings become very strong, then they are ready to fly, and that is why they are called specialized feathers. Okay students, the second subject and verb example I have for you is fire burns. Okay, so because fire is a singular subject, even if it is plural in nature, but it is singular. So for singular noun, we will use the word third form of the verb, and that is not third form, we use S, and that is why we are saying fire burns. All of us we know fire burns, but we have to know, okay, from the verb we have to ask, how does the fire burns? So, okay, what do the human beings need? We need oxygen to live. If we run short of oxygen, a person can die. But on the other hand, we bring out carbon dioxide, and the trees take our carbon dioxide and change into oxygen. But what happens with the fire? How does fire burn? Fire burn only by having a lot of oxygen around it. So when there is a lot of oxygen around it, it helps the air to become hot. Then it becomes very light. And as soon as air is light, it begins to go up. And that is why the fire spreads. And that is why it brings flames and spreads all around it. I hope you understand why fire burns. Alright students, every sentence is different in its nature, vocabulary and the number of words. So here my next sentence is the moon is shining. So here I will have to explain to you why are we using the, because it is also a part of speech which is called the articles, and that there are three articles. One is an, which is a common article, and the is a special article. So we are using the moon. So the means the moon is very special. It is only one in its nature. So that is why we say the moon. And then the sentence, the verb is over here is. So because moon is singular, we are bringing the verb is. And it is telling you shining, which means the moon is shining at the moment. And it is making it a moonlit night. So when moonlit night is there, people do different kind of activities. The first activities that we do is we gaze at the sky. So when we gaze at the sky, we see all the stars also glittering with the help of the moonlight. Number two is many people like to have a party on moonlit night, or like we say, call it a Purnima. It is also considered a very auspicious day for the people in India. So these are the three common things which we can talk about. The moon is shining. Alright students, I think and hope and wish that you are enjoying today's lecture. And now the next sentence is so interesting. It says the baby is crying. So you have to know why is the baby crying. Can anyone tell me why is the baby crying? Yes, I think your answer is correct, because the baby is, why does a baby cry? The first thing baby cries is because that is his natural language, and he or she or it, we generally say it is crying because the baby is hungry, and baby gets hungry very fast, very quickly after 2 hours. So one reason is the baby is hungry. The second reason is the baby could be sick and he has no other language but to cry, to bring the attention of his or her mother towards him and to show that I am not well. Third reason why does the baby cry is because baby is in pain. When the baby is in pain, the only language that he uses is that he cries. And then when he does not stop crying, and mummy who is a natural doctor, she finds it out, why is my baby crying? So the baby could be having a pain, maybe in the stomach or maybe any parts of the body, and the mother is always able to find it. So, and the last thing is baby wants to make sure that my mother is around him or her. And when he does not see when he doesn't see mummy around, he begins to cry. So between cry and baby, it is a very natural, very close relationship between cry and the baby. And that is what the baby does till he becomes 2 years old. Alright children, the next sentence is the bell has rung. So you can see that slowly and gradually the chapter is bringing you to have the knowledge of different verbs. So here we are saying the bell and it says has. So when we use has, it is a different verb, which means the bell has rung. The action has been completed or the action has been done. So I will tell you the different forms of the verb. One is ring, that is it's ringing now. The second one is rang, which means the bell rang. And the third one is the bell has rung. So when we say the bell has rung, it means the period of the first period of whichever period is going on, that period is over, and the ringing of the bell is telling you that either you need to go back, your recess period is over, or you need to change the subject, or you need to change your classroom, or you need to change something. And that is why the bell is an indication to tell you that you need to do something different. So here I would like to tell you the bell has rung. So what do we do when the bell has rung? What we do is, number one is we change our subjects. The new teacher comes and she teaches you a different subject. The other bell has rung, which means the school is over, and all of us, we pack our bags, and we are ready to leave the school and head downstairs to go home. And the third is the bell has rung, and all of us, let's assemble in the dining hall and have our lunch. So the bell has rung is a very exciting indication to the students. So this is the meaning of the bell has rung, the task has been completed, and the bell is telling you to do something different. Alright, here, now from one was a subject and the other one was a verb. So in the previous set of sentences, I was only teaching you only two parts of a sentence. That was my subject and verb. But now we are going to go into more parts of speech, and that is not only two, but it has become 1, 2, 3. So how has it become 3? So my sentence for you is, this is a pen. So let me write the sentence for you so that you can see very easily. This is a pen. So before I can go into the whole sentence, I am going to give you, this is a pen, which means that it is telling you this, and this is actually telling you a demonstrative pronoun. So demonstrative pronoun means this or that. So here the demonstrative pronoun is coming and it is telling you this is a pen. So along with the different parts of speech, here we are saying this, which means it is talking to you about a particular pen, and it says this is a pen. This is a pen, that is a marker. So when we use the word this, it tells you the direction and shows you that we are talking about a particular thing. So then we are saying that this is a pen, and then we have got an article here, and this is your common article. So common article means common article. So common article means that everything that we see with our own eyes has got a noun. So whenever we say, we don't say something like pen or book, we always say a pen, a marker, a whiteboard, a chair, a water bottle. So we always have to use our name. So before using a name, we have to put a, which tells you that we are talking about a particular subject. So here it is. So it says this is a pen, which means it has become a subject complement. So complement means it is giving a compliment to the subject. And what is my subject? My subject is this. So what is, okay, so the subject complement in other expressions, we can call it a noun, because pen is very much a noun. And at the same time, pen is an object of the subject, and then or we can call it a predicate. So from simple, from two words to, it has become a complete sentence, and that is why we are saying, because here the subject complement means we are adding a pen. So adding a pen means it is a complement to the subject. Now children, look at the sentence very carefully. Now here we have entered into the advanced part of a sentence. Here the noun has become a pronoun. And what is a noun? Noun is Rama. So I am not wanting to use Rama again and again. So instead of Rama, I have introduced you a pronoun. So I am saying that Rama's father has become a soldier. So again, I have got a subject complement. So subject complement actually means it is an object, and it is an object to the subject. So we are saying that Rama's father has become a soldier. That means Rama's father, till here it is your subject, and the rest of the sentence becomes a predicate. So here, so what is a predicate? Predicate means as soon as we have his father, so there is no verb right now. As soon as the verb enters in a sentence, from there the whole of the sentence is called the rest of the sentence is called the predicate. So predicate is also divided into different parts. Predicate consists of a verb, an article and a noun, and that noun, so together it becomes an object. Where it says his father became, that means become, became and became. So here the father has become a soldier, and this means the object is complete. So hello students, as you have already noted maybe 4 or 5 sentences here, every time we see a sentence, it is in the progressive form. So the sentences are progressing now. In my last sentence, I had told you about this, and now we are talking about that. So both these words are telling you that these are demonstrative pronoun. So that is why it is telling, it's giving you a particular direction. It is telling you that book is mine, and he is telling this book is yours, but that book is mine. So whenever we use this and that, we always point it out with our hands or fingers or with anything to show you that particular book belongs to me and this particular book belongs to you. So therefore, it is telling you now separately that book is mine. And very interestingly, it is telling you over here another part of speech has entered now. And now it is telling you mine. So mine is a very advanced word, and this is telling you possessive. Possessive का मतलब होता है मेरा, अपना. So it is telling you this book is my. नहीं बोलेंगे, it is wrong. But we will say, grammatically we will say, this book is mine, please give it back to me. So that is the meaning of that book is mine. I hope you have enjoyed joining this lesson on subject verb agreement.